Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play the Sexy Brutale. Last time we rescued Trinity and Clay, we got Trinity's mask, and that gave us her perfect hearing. And our only lead as to how to get deeper into the mansion was overseeing Trinity using her perfect hearing before in order to figure out which keypad combination was being used to unlock the doors. So we're going to wait for Trinity to come do that again so we can listen in and get the combination. And about now, Trinity should be on her way in, right on time. This game flows like clockwork. And here's the servant coming out with the drink tray for Clay, who's still back in the casino. Their dialogue is going to play out as usual. Trinity's going to wander off, and the servant is going to lock the room down. We can activate the mask's properties to get the perfect hearing to hear the key code now. But because Trinity's going to come right back into the room, we don't really have anywhere to go, so we're stuck in the closet. And the combination is now 5564. And that's, even once we hear it the first time, marked down as hidden information on our map. So if we restart the day from here... Oh yeah, and if you're in here spying, that's how you get the indication to turn camera 3 specifically on. But you can also just, process of elimination that for the second rescue mission, the Clay and Trinity one. Once again, you can hear Trinity typing the key combination in and getting startled by the gunshot noise. And we're going to wait for her to enter that again and get out of our way so we can get out of the wardrobe and move about the mansion. With a bunch of new doors open to us. The one that Trinity just went through, there's somebody occupying that room, so we have no business being in there yet. However, in the room adjacent, there's another one of these doors, and then there's even another in the room to the left of this one. But this is where we actually want to go for the time being. Impossible to tell what's in that painting. Painting's a maelstrom of chaos and darkness. It's not welcoming. Forest scene blurred and strange, or is it a skyline? Lots of ambiguous paintings. And then a vent we can peer through. And we are now much deeper into the mansion. We have a whole new section of rooms available to us, upstairs even. By the way, as for the paintings, there are about, I think they said, between 130 and 160 unique paintings, which is pretty insane given how little of them you can actually see. There are so many unique art assets that just bring this game to life. The scorpion fish. Poison is used in a cocktail that's served in the bar, which we'll spend plenty of time in. This is the room we come in for the winding key, for the guest rooms. Perfect. Devil monarch fish, variant of the tiny devil's hole pupfish. A very rare mutation that turns them into the monarch variety. It's just a little bit of flavor text for the time being. And as we walk deeper into this hall, this is who we are going to be rescuing. Willow Blue, the Flame in the Dark. Jesus, her getup is the best. It's one of my favorites. So, we've had Reginald Sixpence as our starter. We had Clay and Trinity before that, and this room was the one pictured just now. Oh, she's in here already. So we're going to spy what she's doing in here as we pass through. And we can see below, her time's almost up already. 7 o'clock. Yikes. So as we pass through to get to the clock, after we get the winding key, we get a lot of information about how this ends for Willow. We know that she dies by hanging herself. And so from here, we have to work backwards at least 2 times. First, we have to figure out exactly what leads to that moment and what we can do about that. And then we actually have to execute on stopping her from hanging herself. So what I love about this game is that contrast. How dark and sinister and macabre it gets, and yet how lively and beautiful and stylized it is, and how many different, like, how each room is a different environment, and how just gorgeous it is to look at, and how it sort of sublimates a little bit of how dark it gets. Okay, so Willow is actually pretty close to her endpoint at the start of the day. We're going to back off a little bit. And Tequila is the other person she bumps into here. Willow, sweetheart, I have to dash. You'll start without me. You don't have a comb I could borrow, do you? Keep your filthy hands to yourself. Seems there is a little bit of a overreaction, misunderstanding, something like that. Just been all cooped up, acting weird. The music has taken on a much more sinister tone as well. We can listen in. She's mumbling something to herself. At least she'll be safe. Seems like she's trying to protect Tequila. The missing charm worries me, but without that recipe in my desk, everything will be fine. Coming for you, beast. I'll stop you spreading your poison. Now back to the tank. I think I dropped my invitation. So this one is a lot less straightforward than either of the previous targets we've had to rescue. It's a good thing you shared your secrets with me, Lucas. She reveals a trapdoor behind the painting in her gallery, in the room adjacent to her room. So what we know right now is there's something in this desk, covered with macabre bones and skulls. We need to open that up. She also said something about a recipe. That's what we're aiming for. Because this dope-looking glowing skull is not going to let us pass. We can't use the hungry charm that we incidentally picked up on it. Enormous chains. Yeah, that's more or less impassable for us right now. And there's that gunshot noise that we've been hearing throughout the mansion at exactly this time. Every time, like clockwork. Even look at the light overhead. Late afternoon. It's not always obvious, but the day-night cycle of this game actually shifts things like the lighting. And we hear the sound of crashing glass. So now we're kind of stuck. We don't have a key for the desk, and we don't have much of a lead. The only thing that we know for sure is that Willow went into that room and that she has not yet come out. So what we're going to do is continue to tail her until we come across some more information. In the meantime, I'm not going to fast forward this one because I'm going to talk a little bit more about the inspirations for this game, especially the art. So, and there she is anyway. So obviously, like, the masks and the whole masquerade ball aspect of this, it's very, like, Carnival and Lucha Libre inspired. And then, like, the specific influences are things like the Filmation games, you know, all of these angled rooms where True North is like a corner of the room with with the isometric camera. The art is all influenced by stuff like Leica films, like Kubo, Paranorman. PS2 game called Gregory Horror Show is a big influence on this, and a comic called Mr. Punch. If you listen to one of the devs from Tequila Works, he makes a lot of comparisons to puppets and like dollhouses, you know, this surreal feeling, like something that you could just play with or manipulate. All these characters have that essence to them. Like you could lift the lid off of this mansion and just look inside and play with all of the characters. Like they could be manipulated like that. And in fact, the puppet comparison is something that one of the devs, I can't remember his name unfortunately, he makes himself. And the tragical comedy or the comical tragedy of Mr. Punch is, like, I think it's supposed to be puppet themed. And not only the art, but the theme of that made a lot of sense here because it was like someone or something is pulling their strings figuratively and literally. So what we get after she's already dead is the key to her desk. She takes it off around her neck before tying the noose around it. So now that she's already dead, we can come in here and unlock her desk, which gives us a recipe. Now, this doesn't affect the world state. We never need to unlock this desk again, so we're free to reset the day now that we know the recipe. That knowledge doesn't go away when we reset. So now that we have this, it's about feeding the hungry charm that we picked up in the room to the left of the grandfather clock. There are places we can go to feed it. So that's going to be our next step. We can't actually look at what the recipe is, I don't think. Unless I'm just missing that. I'm going to check again. Yeah, feeding the hungry charm. But we can take it to these locations and see. And there's even an order given on the map once you check it out, once you get that recipe. So first, we're going to come in here. We are going to reset to noon. And then we're going to make another attempt to save Willow. And this is where I think a lot of these get really cool, is that some of them require you to reset. You cannot always save them on the first trip around. Sometimes you need to learn something in-game or trigger some kind of event and then reset again. Sometimes it can take multiple loops to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. I think that's a really cool puzzle-solving aspect of this. So this is the first spot that we're supposed to come to nourish the hungry charm, and blood flows into it when you take it to this tank. And the next spot is that mutated monarch devilfish in the room where we got the winding key for the guest rooms. That's where we feed it next. This is the fed hungry charm. We take it up to this, blood flows into it. It whispers that it's ready. And it's now the sated hungry charm. And now there's one other thing that we couldn't interact with before that we know of. So, process of elimination, and plus this being a big glowing three-eyed skull pendant, let's give this a shot using the sated hungry charm on this door. So now we can beat Willow to this room and see exactly what was going on in here. There's a lot of occult-looking markings and just kind of a sinister, beautiful color palette. There's this we can manipulate. Oh, and also a couple of other games that influence this, like a couple games in general. I mentioned Gregory Horror Show already. Tulip was one, along with the 999 series. which people have been recommending to me anyway, so maybe I'll check it out after this. That and Ghost Trick, people have been recommending, and I've been hearing good things about Ghost Trick for the longest time. Also, immersive theater experiences where the audience kind of play along and they're actually in the play themselves. Just really adore this surreal masquerade ball theme and look to everything. So once Willow enters the room, we want to make sure that this pipe is not flowing into that big tank. And now we're actually going to find out a little bit more about Willow and her motivations and what even compelled her to hang herself. Something's been calling to tequila in the night. Swamp blood runs in these veins, and I will end this. All we can see is this derpy looking fish floating about. Kind of oddly. That's it, though. There's the glass breaking. And now... by averting the pipe, we've done something. We don't know what yet, but something has changed. I was going to do something terrible. I don't want to. I don't. I'm just so tired, Laffy. So tired and lonely. What do I feel alone when they're so close to me? I was going to do something terrible. But now you're here, and thank you. So that still doesn't give us a clear answer, and may actually only raise more questions. But the scene isn't done. Because a mysterious radiant lead. The mysterious lady in red reappears to us, urges us to take Willow's mask. Willow's second sight. The ghost of the mansion will now appear as an eerie blue cloud. She can see things others cannot. Light Willow's voodoo candles to reveal ghosts fully, allowing you to see them, hear them, and talk to them. With our mask and our candles, we can see what she saw. And that is what she saw. Grinmaw. I don't think you'll win. There's time, girl. There's always time. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.